Hello and welcome to this special presentation, What to Expect at the annual Contact Center World Next Generation Best Practices Conference. My name is Raj Wadhwani. I'm going to be your host at the conference, and what I thought I'd do is take a few minutes to explain a bit about the event. So on this slideshow I'm going to be talking a bit about the event history, how to prepare for the event, what's going to happen at the event for you, and also after the event what to expect. Let's start by looking at the event history. Now, many of you know that Contact Center World has its origins back in 1999. However, back in 2006, what we wanted to do was to launch a series of industry events, industry leading events. So we started to look at a model that would work, be successful, and help people in the industry share and learn best practices. So going back to 2006, we started running 4 events every single year around the world. And the whole aim is to share not the average practices, but the best practices in the contact center world. So how do we do this? Well, we invited the best to showcase what they do and how they do it at our events. And the way that we did this to encourage best practices to be shared was to run an annual awards program. So at the time we announced our conferences, we also started running this global awards program that every year attracts over 1,500 different organizations. So companies compete for a spot to present at our conference. And what they do is initially they fill in some online applications, they get shortlisted, then they're invited as a finalist to come along to our conference and to present. So what you're going to be hearing at our conference is organizations from the very small to the very large, from all different industry sectors, talking about how they run their contact center, from leadership to people engagement to best practices in contact centers and customer engagement to human resources, IT. You're going to hear from trainers, you're going to hear from frontline professionals and everybody else in between. And they're all going to be there to share best practices. Your job is you're also going to be a judge at the event. So you're going to be watching, you're going to be listening, you're going to be learning, but also you're going to be helping us decide who the best are in the industry. And what typically happens is every single presenter is challenged to present a minimum of 5 up to 10 or more best practices. So at one of our events, like the one in Barcelona we've got coming up, you can expect to hear 750 or maybe even up to 1,000 best practice ideas from all around the contact center world. Now I'd like to talk briefly about how you can prepare for the event to get most out of it. Firstly, what I'm going to ask you to do is if you have a laptop or a tablet, like an iPad or an Android tablet, please bring it along to the event. Because what we'll give you is lots of useful tools that you can use. There'll be an event app with voting tools on there. You have access to notes pages. You'll have real-time agenda. You can send us updates about anything that's going on or anything that you need some help with. And there's even networking tools, so you can actually go on while you're at the conference and see who else is there and start to look at people you can network with. So please bring a laptop or a tablet. We also provide Wi-Fi at the event, and we'll also give you sockets to plug in your device to keep it powered up during the day. Another thing we'd ask you to do in advance is we're going to send you a link. Please make sure that your badge has all the relevant information. On the screen you can see in front of you some sample badges from some of our events, and what we like to do is also tell everybody a bit about each of the people who's at the event. So in the case of Natalia and Sheriff, you can read which organization they're from, their job title, which country they're representing, and also you can see some information about them. We have 3 lines at the bottom where every delegate is invited to tell us a little bit about yourself. It's fantastic for networking and sharing best practices and helps people just get to know each other. So please, when you go on to updating your badge, please make sure you put in, if you can, 3 useful, interesting facts about yourself. Could be hobbies, interests, or just something that you might want to share with everybody else, and will encourage people to network with you. I'm also going to suggest, if you're coming alone, to reconsider bringing a colleague with you. The reason is that we have 2 tracks at this event, And if you come along to the sessions on your own, you're going to miss approximately 40 to 50% of the content. Which, going back to what I was saying earlier about the number of ideas, you could be missing anything up to 500 best practice ideas if you're coming alone. So bring a colleague, and also make sure that you're both splitting yourself between the tracks. If you've got several people coming, well, you're well covered. We're also going to encourage you to buy tickets for networking activities. We usually have some fun things. In our Barcelona event, we're going to have some bowling, and please buy some tickets as soon as possible because we have a limited number of spots. When you buy a ticket for our bowling activity, a couple of things to bear in mind. We will provide you with transportation, there will be some food and some drink included. We ask you for a small fee for the event, but that fee, 100% of it goes to charity. So by coming along, you're also helping us support some of our local charities that we support around the world. And it doesn't matter if you can't bowl or you're not a good bowler. It's really more about just networking, having some fun, and it is a really good way to meet and get to know other delegates. In advance of the event as well, I'm going to suggest to you all that you consider upgrading your membership. If you have a basic membership, then you're missing out on some really good benefits, and also your profile will also show that you're not an executive member. Everybody coming to our event really should be an executive member. It's $99 for a whole year, and in addition to having a logo you can put on your profile and the status being associated with an executive, you also get other benefits like discounts of conferences and other benefits. So please consider upgrading. And on our website, at the top of the website, just below where you log in, there is a link to memberships. I'll also send you a separate link. Now, for those of you who know, this is our 20th year as an organisation. So to celebrate that, what we're offering you all is the opportunity to enter the 2020 awards at zero cost. The clock's already ticking on this 20-day program, so please enter our 2020 awards before the 3rd of December. Choose as many categories and as you like, and there will be $0 for that. But please, you must do this before 3rd of December. After the 4th of December, our usual prices will apply. So take advantage of this opportunity as well. Now, a week away from the event, you're going to also be receiving an online check-in email. The idea behind this email is it's very similar to when you book a flight. You have an online check-in before. It saves you time queuing at the airport. In our case, it saves you time queuing up at the registration desk on day one. So when you get that email from us, please follow the details, confirm everything is correct, and we've got everything that we need for you. And you can also then do other things like you can check networks, you can also do a sample vote form as well, just so you get a feel for what the tools are at the event. And by doing this, it will also save you time, because when you arrive on day one at the event, you can go straight to the self-service check-in desk, pick up your pack and go. The alternative is you don't do this online, you come to our event, you're going to be queuing up, and we'll ask you to do all this details before you can enter the conference room. So save yourself time at the event, feel more relaxed, fill in the online check-in form before you even get to the event, and you'll be in a much better position. I'd also like you to join our social media groups. I'm going to send you links to all of these. Please join all our social media groups. Follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, follow our YouTube account, on Instagram, etc. And please also share the fact that you're coming to our event. Celebrate in the fact that you're going to be amongst the best in the industry by sharing your own posts and notifications. And even on the journey to the event, share some posts, your excitement at the airport, that you've just landed in Barcelona, that you're going to be joining this amazing event. In this next section, I'm going to cover what to expect at the event. First thing I'd like to mention is that we're going to be networking you continuously whilst you're at this event. And the reason is that we want you to make lots of useful connections, so when you walk away and you go back to your office, there's not just people you know in your immediate work environment, but you've made connections all around the world. These are professionals who can help you. they can share best practices with you, they can also offer you opportunities to go and visit their centres and vice versa. One of the ways that we facilitate networking at our event is that we're going to give you a playing card, and every single day your playing card is going to change. Now your playing card is also going to tell you at what table you're going to be sitting at lunchtime. So for example, if we gave you a 10 of spades on day 1, then you're going to look for a table at lunchtime that's just displaying the number 10. It doesn't have to be 10 of spades, it could be 10 of hearts, 10 of diamonds, 10 of clubs. Any person who's got the card with the number 10 can sit at that lunch table, and that way you're going to meet some new people. The second day we're going to switch your card around and you might end up with the ace. And this time, on day 2, you're going to go and sit at a table where it's got an ace. So every single day we're mixing you up. Even though you might be with colleagues, if they've got different numbers, you're going to be sitting on different tables, and that's going to make sure that you build a really good, strong, solid network. Now, as you've seen from lots of photos we've been sharing, the dress code for this event is business casual. We'll take lots of photos, so we want you to feel really comfortable. If you decide you want to wear a business suit or business attire, formal business attire for the entire event, that's entirely up to you. But please, at a minimum, it's business casual. You're also going to spot a board that we have at every single event. It's called Today is a Great Day board. And what we do is we encourage every single delegate who comes along to one of our events to, at least once during the event, to post a note up here. It's a board where you can post anything that makes you feel great that day. Some people post personal notes because maybe it's their birthday or they're celebrating something or something has happened. Other people post notes about the event itself. And please, when you're at the event, if you go onto this board, read some of the other things that make people feel really positive about being at the event and sharing, and fill in one of these "Today's a Great Day" forms yourself and post it. Everybody loves to read all these positive notes about what everybody else is doing at the event. Earlier on, you may recall I was suggesting that you bring along a laptop or a tablet to the event. And one of the key reasons is that we're going to give you access to our online event app that we developed many years ago. We like to cut out paper, and we developed this application so that, for example, you can find real-time agenda updates. You can also do your voting online. You can also use it for surveys that we're going to ask you. You can ask other delegates for questions. You can also post comments on there if there's something that we can help you with while you're at the event. And there's lots of other useful features, so we give you access to this and we'd encourage you to make full use of it. One of the features that we built in, which is very, very handy, is an online workbook. No longer do you have to try and decipher hand-scribbled notes. You can actually go onto our system and you can type in notes against specific presenters, and then that way they're stored against your personal profile. It doesn't matter if you go onto the website today, next week, next month, and next year, or in 10 years' time, you'll be able to access all of your notes and go through and actually read about what you were listening to and access all your notes online. Even if you change jobs, the notes go with you. So it's a very, very powerful tool. And also, you never have to worry about losing your notes because they're online all the time. You'll also have access to our online judge system, and we encourage everybody to get involved. We have some checks and balances to make sure they're very, very fair, but we encourage everybody to go in and start judging presentations, and then you can also help us decide who wins the awards. New for this year, we're going to be introducing some technology presentations from industry vendors. And the idea is that vendors of products and services, especially technology, will be able to come along to our event and they'll be able to do a 15-minute demo of what their solution and technology is all about. You as the audience will actually vote on who you think is the best, and as a result we'll also then give out industry awards. And another new tool that we've built in this year is the ability for organisations to request one-on-one meetings with conference delegates in a meet and greet format. So if you get an email from us inviting you to meet with an industry vendor, it'll be a 15-minute quick meeting at your discretion, your times that you set, and it will be an opportunity for you to meet and get to know some of the other great industry solutions providers out there. It's entirely optional, but we encourage you, if you get an invitation, that maybe there could be something in there that's worth just meeting about for 15 minutes. It's quick, short, sharp, and then that way you might also learn something very beneficial for your business. For those of you who are attending the entire week, if you've been to one of our events before, you'll know that on the last day we have a photo session where we invite everybody who's actually been there for the entire week to come along and get the certificate in contact center best practices. And every single person gets a customized certificate. They also get logos they can use on their social media, and then they can go back into their own organization and say, hey, I've just got a certificate for contact center best practices. It's valid for a year. And then everybody will know that you've been exposed to some of the best practices in the contact center world, and you can go away and you can implement some amazing ideas and look like a true superstar in your organization. If you've only booked to come along for 1 or 2 days, sorry, you don't get a certificate because you haven't been exposed to everything. So it may be worth considering upgrading to a full conference pass, and that way you get your certificate because you've been exposed to all these amazing ideas. At the event as well, we're going to encourage people to buy items that we're going to sell for charity. For example, some books, there'll be Monty Moose, there might be some mouse pads and other giveaways and other things that we'd like you to purchase for charity, and all the money that we raise goes to charity. You can also expect to have a fun awards gala dinner on the very last night of the event. And at that event, at the gala dinner, we'll be presenting awards, we'll have fun, celebrate, say goodbye to some new friends that we've made during the week, and just have a really good time. The dinner, it's a formal dinner, so many people do dress up in a dinner suit or cocktail dress. We take lots of photos, we do videos. It's a fantastic way to say goodbye to everybody you've met, and you'll see them again at our next event, but it's a great way to celebrate the best in the industry. And everybody who's every single person who's a presenter is invited to come along to the gala dinner, because that's where we're also going to give out all the industry awards. The last section I'm going to cover is what to expect after the event. You leave our event, and what happens next? Well, the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to network everybody together. So you come along to one of our events, there's maybe 150, 200 people there. When you leave, we're going to connect you with every single person who's at that event. So when you go onto Contact Center World, you'll actually have a ready-made network. It's kind of like LinkedIn, but better, because it's just purely for our industry. And you can see all your connections. You can also chat with them one-to-one, or you can send them messages. And it's a really good way to stay in touch with people. The other thing that we're going to do is give you access to the conference presentations on the days you attended. So if, for example, you attend every single day, you'll get access to every single conference presentation. If you only come for day one, you'll only get access to day one's presentation slides. The real good thing about this is that you can see the name of the organization, and you can also download their presentation, which will also include any video or audio they've shared, as well as the conference slides. And then we mentioned earlier photos, so we're going to take lots of photos. There'll be some video as well. All of these will be made available for people to download. And for the winners of our awards programs, you'll also have access to all your winners' logos. For the presenters, we also give presenters access to the feedback scores, the feedback from all the delegates who judge them at the conference. And there's a nice little bar chart that actually shows you how you're doing and all the different areas that you're being measured in. So really, really useful tool. Now, in summary, I'd just like to recap. Please prepare for the event. Prepare as much as you can, because you'll get more out of it. When you're at the event, do join in and participate in as many things as possible. And remember at lunchtime that we're going to use those playing cards to help you network and meet new people. So please use those as well. Post comments about the event continuously pre the event. When you're at the event, we encourage you to share information on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn that you're at the event, to tweet it out. And also after the event, just share the excitement and information and what it was like to be at the event. And lastly, please plan for next year. Here's where we're going to be in 2020. So our first event is going to be in Orlando in May, and that's for the Best in Americas. Our next event is going to be in June in Lisbon, and that's for the Best in Europe, Middle East and Africa. Our third event is going to be in Bali in Indonesia, and that's going to be in July, towards the end of July. And our final event, which is the Best in the World, is likely to be in November, late November, and we're in the process of finalizing the dates and venues, and as soon as we know that, we'll share that with you. But I'm looking forward and very excited to see you all in Barcelona. Have a safe trip, and we'll see you then, and please let us know if there's anything else that we can do.